culture is effectively the behavioral norms of a population, right? I mean, that's kind of the most basic definition of it. So, you know, when my wife and I were just in Mexico, and we can talk about, well, what's the culture in Mexico, right? And I might come up with a bunch of attributes, but all of those attributes are going to be behavioral, right? I'll say people are warm and friendly, people are hardworking, everybody smiles a lot, right? And that's how I might describe the culture. But you'll notice I describe it in behavioral terms. And so if we now think about an organization, okay, the question is, well, what are the behavioral norms? Here's the problem. Whether you realize it or not, you have a culture. The problem most often is it's not of your deliberate design, because there are behavioral norms in every organization, regardless of whether there is a deliberately designed culture. And the question then becomes, are those behavioral norms helping us achieve our mission, our objective, our aspirations as leaders and for what we want of this organization? Or are those behavioral norms in our way? So for example, if one of your behavioral norms is employee to employee competition, okay, because certain managers maybe cultivate that, right? Or if one of your behavioral norms is not telling the whole truth because the messenger gets punished in your organization, right? I would make the argument those are things that probably aren't going to help you get where you want to go. And yet in many organizations, that's the reality, because it just is what it is. So when I talk about culture in an organizational setting, I'm talking about the people running the organization saying, you know what, we want to go through a process to deliberately create the kind of culture we want, because we believe that this is going to help us, not just help us where we get where we want to go, but these are the kinds of people I want to be hanging out with along the way, right? And so that's sort of how I would approach it in terms of defining it and helping the people who are with us understand what it is. And then finally, you know, if your strategy describes, if the purpose of your organization is why you exist, right? Like Simon Sinek talks about your why. So if purpose is why, strategy is what. Okay, what is it that we're gonna be doing to accomplish the why, right? That's strategy. Then you get to culture and core values as the how. How will we conduct ourselves along the way, right? What are the rules of conduct inside this organization, the behavioral rules of conduct? And that's how culture fits into the bigger picture.